Heading into the 2020 draft, the media consensus is that this is one of the deepest wide receiver classes ever, with potentially 15 plus receivers going into the first 2 days. Guys like Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, or Laviska Shenault are taking up most of the spotlight, and for good reason too. But today, we're going to look at a wide receiver who's flown relatively under the radar until a great Senior Bowl and a stellar combine performance. A guy who possesses a rare balance of speed, catching, route running, and blocking. After his huge combine performance, Chase Claypool has quickly seen his draft stock skyrocket. Welcome into another Thinking Football film study. Today, we're going to be taking a closer look at Notre Dame wide receiver Chase Claypool. At 6'4", 238 pounds, Claypool has size and speed that would make most GMs hot and bothered. Clocking a 4'4", 240 and a 10.5-foot broad jump, Claypool has a rare combo of size and explosiveness, and what he lacks in shiftiness, he makes up for in raw strength and power. For a wide receiver, he delivers a brutal stiff arm, rivaling most running backs, and it wasn't uncommon to see 3 or more defenders trying to bring him down. What I love most about Claypool is his insane catching radius. He has the ability to go up and snag a ball. It seemed like in every game he played, he was making an acrobatic back shoulder catch or going up for a contested jump ball. The first play that made me go, wow, from Claypool was this catch from a 2017 game at Michigan State. Check it out as he tracks the flight, contorts his body to the angle of the throw, and still has the foresight to high point the ball and tap his foot in for the catch. Or this catch against Georgia. He's able to beat number 26 Tyreek McGee off the line on a go route and make another incredible back shoulder grab as he taps the foot in for the catch. Then on the next play, he simply posts up McGee for a touchdown. His second grab against Stanford was probably one of the best catches of his season, tracking the ball, then elevating to snag it at its highest point. Or his 2 grabs against Michigan where he's in a rainstorm. He still managed to have unbelievable hands and even better body control on both these grabs. His catching radius isn't limited to high-pointing balls on deep bombs. Claypool is always out of his breaks with catch-ready hands, meaning his hands are extended from his body, allowing for a quicker reaction time. He's able to do this by turning his hips and head at the same time, giving him greater time to track the ball. This past season at Notre Dame, he was their primary deep threat and red zone target. His speed and acceleration allowed him to regularly beat DBs in one-on-one coverage. Claypool was prolific on the go route. Here, he beats the corner who's in press coverage, sees the safety who's starting to creep, and makes his way up between the numbers and the sideline. Despite an overthrow, he uses his size to make another leaping touchdown grab. In one of my favorite catches from him this season, he creates separation against an undersized Elijah Griffin by giving a slight shove, staying on his route, and going up to secure the ball at its apex before shoving the ball in Griffin's chest on the ground in pure disrespect. Flashing back to 2018 against Northwestern, backed up on their own goal line, Claypool shows off his 4.42 speed, gets his head around once he has a corner beat, tracks the ball, and then makes an adjustment for a big gainer. And let's take a look at this double move against Wake Forest from 2018 as well. He shows off his acceleration, goes into his break on the curl, turns his body to sell it, before going back to full speed, torching the defender. In this past season, Claypool came up clutch against Virginia Tech on this post-over route. He sees the safety has moved himself out of the play, leaving a break in the zone. Claypool plants his outside foot, then brings his route flat, coming up with this huge grab. Now, Claypool hasn't always been a perfect route runner, and by no means is he now, but he has improved drastically over 3 seasons. Watch this corner route against Wake Forest from 2017. Nothing terribly special about this route. He's one-on-one to safety. He plants his foot, gets out of his break, and makes a jumping body catch. So compare that route against this one from Iowa State. Claypool cooks his defender, getting a good inside release, then gets back on his route, then pairing a great head fake with his outside plant foot before heading to the sideline on a textbook corner route. With a receiver of this size, you'd expect him to dominate on deep balls, but what about short and intermediate routes? Well, his routes are crisp, and his route tree consisted of plenty of low branches in his slants, drags, and hitches. Notre Dame loved running him on quick drag routes. Drags don't take a whole lot of skill and technique compared to other routes. It really is just designed to get the ball into your playmaker's hand as fast as possible. And that's exactly what they did. Against a loaded box, Claypool is at full speed by the time he's under this linebacker zone, who has no time to react. An easy pitch and catch leads to 20 yards. Again against Georgia, Claypool is the primary target on this rub concept. He actually gets this ball behind the line of scrimmage, but he still has plenty of space at full speed to pick up a first down on a 3rd and long. And then one last time against Stanford on the goal line. Zone coverage, rub route, full speed and space means an easy 6. His speed acceleration made him a threat when it came to running curls. Watch how fast he plants his outside foot, gets his head around, and grabs the ball. Claypool exhibits some great social distancing between him and the DB and gets the first down. Here versus USC, he gets into his break, has his body around in a hands-ready position, extending to grab the overthrow and drag a DB upfield. This curl route against Stanford might be one of his best. The DB here is in soft man, which means Claypool will have to create a slight hesitation to keep the DB flat-footed. He drops his hips and his head, pumps his arms, then uses his outside foot to turn. After the catch, Claypool turns to his outside to avoid a collision and breaks a tackle for a gain of 14. Claypool was almost uncoverable in the red zone on slant routes due to him being able to create separation and being able to box defenders out. Here, Claypool stacks up his defender who has inside leverage, throws a nasty fake step with his outside foot, then crosses the defender's face like Kyrie going into the paint. On this design pick play, Chase runs his slant, but the slot isn't able to get a piece of the corner. No problem, because Claypool uses his frame to box out the corner who's draped on his back, then drags him 3 yards into the end zone. Despite not getting the ball in this RPO, Claypool is able to get open against Breece Hall, who has the inside leverage. He gets open thanks to a quick hesitation at the line to square up Hall. Then he drives off that outside foot to cross Hall. Claypool isn't your typical wide receiver who shies away from contact, but rather embraces it and initiates it. Chase might be the best blocking wideout to come out of college in the past few drafts. In fact, and to coach's delight everywhere, he's so good at blocking, he said at the combine that he'd be willing to play tight end. I fully expect Claypool to go in the first 3 rounds, and I wouldn't be surprised if he was one of the first names called on day 2. Now, unless he goes to a team deprived of receiver talent like Cincy, New York, or Washington, I wouldn't expect him to be the primary target on offense. With his speed, strength, and toughness, he will be a day 1 special teamer and probably see action as a 2nd or 3rd target on offense. NFL.com has his pro comp as former teammate and current Raven Miles Boykin, but I think that's just lazy analysis. Based on size, speed, and playstyle, he reminds me a lot of AJ Green, and I certainly think he can live up to that potential in the coming years. Thank you for watching. Be sure to leave a like and comment on who your favorite wide receiver is in this year's draft. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel as we have more player breakdowns coming soon.